Hi, good evening. My name is Christina Abad, and I'm a love and relationship coach. And I'm so excited to be here with you today. I'm just so excited because today I'm really talking about back to basics. Back to basics, back to the beginnings of really calling in your true love. So, as a relationship coach, I help driven and successful women really drop the doubt, drop the fear, and pass disappointment so that they can truly open their hearts up to attracting true love, attracting their soulmate, attracting the right one this time, right? And the interesting thing about that is that so many times when we are in these cycles or repeating these patterns with our dating life, it's usually because of things that we learned when we were younger, right? Back to the beginning, right? And the whole thing is, where do we learn about love? Where do we learn about relationships and how they're supposed to be, right? These ideas that we have in our minds and our hearts that we want a family and we want, marriage and all these wonderful goals in a relationship. But where do we get the idea of that, perfect or ideal relationship? Because as you know, nothing's, perfect, or it's perfect in its imperfections, right? And in today's going back to basics, back in the beginning, I really want to talk about how when we're younger, that's where you pick up your ideas about love, your ideas about relationships. You start learning whether it's, visually, you see it in your own family and other families, you see parents, you see relationships, you see, what did you observe when you were younger and learning about relationships and about love and how it's supposed to be? A lot of us maybe grew up without having, a family as far as a parent, a father or a mother or something, where there was a component that was right missing. And what I really want to talk about is about back to basics, the beginnings. Where do we pick up our ideas about love, right? I know for me, I grew up without a dad. And that certainly impacted my view on relationships and my views on how, relationships were. Not only that, but coupled with, I grew up on Spanish novelas, the drama and the smacks and it's so dramatic, right? And of course, watching, these Disney princesses that get rescued so I really want to kind of really convey the idea of where we learn about this. Where do we learn how to love? Where do we learn these ideas that we have about love? So there's things we see, like I said, visually. Sometimes it can be, things that we hear, that we pick up. Maybe the neighbors always used to yell, or you used to hear your parents always yelling. Or, it's also what we pick up and what we see, what we experience. And the other way that we experience is actually going through it in our lives ourselves. The types of relationships you've encountered in your trajectory, right? In your dating portfolio, if you may. And the interesting thing is that we pick these things up, and sometimes it's like subconsciously, right? Like you don't even know it, but it's happening. Because as you know, when you're growing up and you're being brought up in an environment that's loving and that's caring, and you get to see that firsthand and experience that firsthand, it's very different than growing up in a family that maybe doesn't have married parents. Maybe it's a single parent, or growing up in a family that, maybe your grandparents have a really nice relationship, and you wish that for you because you see that your mother or your father aren't getting along, but your grandparents really do. And going back to the beginning, going back to those ideas of where we get what an ideal relationship is supposed to look like. And like I said, it's coupled with all these experiences, the experiences of what you've seen, of what you've lived, of your personal relationships, and in really being able to go back. And now I'm not saying dwell in the past and, start living and reliving things that are not of service to you and that are not going to help you. But it's really to help you get an idea, because so many times, so many of the ladies that I speak to, and in my own life, I see there's a pattern. I see there's this thing that keeps coming up. And what happens is that we don't realize it at times. that we're replaying this thing, right? Because we haven't quite learned the lesson yet. We haven't quite cleared it up. We haven't cleaned it up. And what I wanted to share with you in today, going back to basics, back to the beginning, back to how you learned about love, for my ladies that are really wanting to call in their soulmate, for my ladies that are really wanting to have a relationship, that are really wanting to meet the right partner, that they have, a real connection with, that are having, conversations that really light up your heart, that create memories, that light up your soul. And these are the types of relationships that my ladies are looking for. And instead of staying stuck in this vicious cycle of dating these guys that are just trying to get into your pants, that are not really serious, that are looking for a fling and are not committed, you really want to start clearing that out and going back to the beginning and examining your beliefs and how you came to even have these beliefs is really helpful. It really starts helping to get you more clarity on, why do I even think this way? Why do I keep attracting this same type of guy? Why do I push away the good guys, right? Why am I always falling for the same type of good looking guy but treats me really bad? And then we have all these stereotypes, right? And here's the thing, it doesn't have to be that way, because you have now this new tool that you can use where you can really look into what you've been learning. What is it that has you stuck in this pattern? And, my ladies are really looking for a soul connection. They're really looking for something deeper, someone that they can really create a loving, lasting relationship with, a healthy relationship at that. So many times we get stuck in these patterns of, getting into these really toxic relationships. There's the narcissist and there's the abuse, right? And you don't have to live like that. You don't have to continue that pattern and falling into the same thing over and over again. I know many times it's things that we do learn when we're younger, things that we see, things that we hear, things that, we later come on to experience ourselves. And being able to recognize that is so powerful and really helps you take control of the situation and say, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to repeat that same cycle anymore. I don't want that to be my happily ever after. I want it to be this way. And I want to have my partner that loves me, that respects me, that supports me, and that's loyal to me. And that really has a strong connection with me, that understands me, that I can, just tell my whole day about and will be completely there for me. And the important thing is that it really starts with us. And if you're in a space where you're feeling lonely and you're feeling like you're running out of time and you feel like you need help, then I want you to please feel free and reach out. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you. And, I've opened up my calendar. I have a few spots left for this week. So if you feel in your heart that you're ready to finally attract the one, to finally call in your soulmate and stop being lonely, stop feeling like you're wasting your time, like you're dating pointlessly, then feel free to reach out. Private message me, or you can book your call at it's chatwithchristina.co, and I would love to speak to you. I would love to help you see what's keeping you stuck, what's keeping you in this cycle that is not letting you really call in the right one, call in the one that lights you up, that's really committed and that's loyal and ready to be in a relationship, right? Not someone who's here to waste your time. So with that said, I'm so excited to be able to share that with you today, because so many of my ladies have been asking, okay, so I know I have this pattern. I know I'm a little stuck in this area. Where do I start? Start at the beginning. Examine what your beliefs are. Examine how you came to your idea, your conclusion of what love is like, what it's supposed to be like. And I'm sure that'll be more than revealing in why you're still stuck, why you're still in these patterns. And if you need a little help, like I said, don't forget to reach out. Book your call at chatwithchristina.co. I so look forward to speaking with you, and I'll be back here tomorrow with some great tips on how to really call in your soulmate and stop being alone. You don't have to be alone, especially not now. It's 2019, the year that you call in your love. So I'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great evening, or wherever you are in the world.